all these products, they're all the same. All hype economy products, they're all supply and demand driven. Just having the leagues as equity partners in their own product, that should have been that way for decades. It's their product. It's their business.
Welcome to the Trading Cards and Collectibles podcast on the Radcast Network. From chasing grails to calling bluffs and going inside the hobby. Are you ready to collect? Let's get at it. Here is your host, Ryan Alford.
Yo, what's up? Welcome. We appreciate you for tuning in. We got a treat today, folks. You like collectibles? We're going to go top to bottom here. We're covering the gamut today, guys. We got everything from shoes to toys to cards. He's had his hands in all of it. He's the co-founder of StockX, the co-founder of Ghostwrite. He is Josh Luber. I can't even keep up. You're touching everything that I like. How did you do it?
Hey, I just get to make businesses around things that I like, and that's it, right? I just happen to be the right age for the right history of the products that we grew up collecting. And then we're so lucky, everything else, and happy to be here. But this is the fun stuff to talk about.
I think like though every kid growing up, if they were going to, you know how you have to do in like third grade, fourth, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think if the job description and path that Josh Luber took, 98%, I can't, and maybe little girls now too, but definitely little boys. Like this guy would have wrote down the path that Josh Luber's taking. I would like to have that. You get to do the things that you grew up collecting and loving. I know you got a deep history there, but it's just cool, man, that you've, I don't know, made this ridiculous. And I know nothing's easy. You've worked your ass off, but it's just crazy the things that you've touched. It's almost like overwhelming knowing where to start with the successes you've seen. But congratulations.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We didn't know that this career path existed when we were, we grew up before the internet. We grew up before all of this. And it's fun now to look at it. We both have young children. We both have young boys and watching now what his view of this is. And he understands some of this. He understands some of what StockX is and meant, but like he just loves Pokemon cards more than anything else. Right. And so now we get to be there to sort of guide them and talk about the business side of it. Like that, by the way, that is like the most fun part of all of this for me is like we had a conversation literally last night because he has Pokemon cards that he wants to get graded. And I told him that he has to fund it. So he has to figure out what card he's going to sell to pay for his grade. And him going through the math of, well, if I get a 9 on this and sell that, I mean, like, how cool is that?
It's so cool, man. Yeah. That's so cool. And I'm so glad you went there, man. Because like part of why I started this show, like I've been doing podcasting and doing stuff that I think is pretty cool for most dads, but they didn't really want, dad's a podcaster and owns a marketing agency. That's cool. Didn't really want anything to do with it. And then they started getting into the hobby a little later. This is probably 18 months, a year ago. And I started, using my connections, like just to get us in experiences, like, calling a friend or somebody that's been on the show. And then it all snowballed into doing this show that I'm blessed to do. But the biggest rewarding part has been teaching them supply and demand, teaching them e-commerce, teaching them, in a cool, fun way because they want to collect and they want to know, what's worth. And you're exactly right. Hey, if you want that, you got to sell something to make it happen. And that's been really cool and something that I really want to expand upon on this show, but it's through that lens. So I love that you're a dad and you're teaching him these things because, shit. But he gets to say my dad started StockX. Is there a bigger play for him at school than that?
he doesn't realize that yet, but I have in a couple of years, I think he's going to figure that out. My daughter, who's a couple years older, like she's starting to figure that out. And as kids start to understand what shoes people are wearing, but like we all grew up, like our first businesses were all flipping trading cards and buying and selling cards when we were a kid. And so now to get to do that with my son, and part of it is, it's exactly right. You mentioned the sort of education of the economics of supply and demand and having those conversations, which obviously is we as parents, we all want to help our kids, grow and become smarter and learn these sort of things. But I had this realization early on at StockX when, we were very fortunate to be asked to come and speak at a lot of different places. And by far, the best ones were always when I got to go speak at a school. And even though they all came, they wanted to hear about $30,000 sneakers or the time that I met Eminem. When I got into the economics of it all, you could actually see them like refocus and be super interested in that part of it as well, at least most of them. And then the line afterwards of people that wanted to come up and talk to me, most of them were, what do you think it would be a good idea if I bought this and sold this or whatever? Like really, and that was a realization early on in terms of what we were doing that was like, oh, okay, this is a really good like entree into education and everything else.
What's up, guys? We're here at Haywood Mall, wilder side of sports, here with the boys. We got a great show, sports cards, Pokemon, collectibles, everything.
Hey, great. How are y'all? Good. Hey, man. Good. Great. Good to see you. I gotta get a free bracelet or something, you know.
How you doing over there?
Good.
Crushing it?
Dude. Yeah. I mean, we sold a lot. I brought a lot of stuff and a little different strategy, but moving a lot of volume.
Good.
How much are your booster boxes?
200.
Yep.
200.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the only ones I have. So 200, whichever
Yep.
one.
Yep. Okay. Is that all you have on the boosters?
For boosters, yeah.
Yep. So you do 380 for one of each of these? So 190, 190?
Yeah.
You
That works.
got change?
20 back.
Okay. Thank you, man.
All right, much appreciated.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah, good luck with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go hand these to Hogan and put them under the table.
Yeah. Fine. Ooh, nice.
You got it for
Oh, let me see that.
So on eBay, you ready, brother?
I got an auto.
One person
Auto?
is trying to sell.
Where?
I got those.
Where's an auto?
Right there. Signature style. How much is this? Okay.
Could I come down 20 or 30 bucks? Sure, but it's not going to be 100. Yeah, I'm 250 there. I'm 250 here, so that's 5. I'm 170 here.
Say 1225
For all of it?
for all of it.
Let's do it.
Good. Sweet. What's your name?
Ryan Alford. Appreciate y'all. Glad that worked out. That should be good. Yeah, man. Let's stay in touch.
What led to starting StockX? I want to spend the majority of the time talking about Ghostwrite because a lot of, people can find the Josh Luber story on StockX. Yeah. But for our audience, for people, setting the table, talk to us about that and, the damn shoe game, man. It's insanity.
I'll say one of the most important parts of sort of my story of starting StockX is that, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started and run, I don't know, maybe a dozen companies at this point. And there was probably good 4 or 5 before Campless, which is the company that became StockX. And all the companies that I started before that, none of them had anything to do with sneakers or collectibles or trading cards or any of my personal passions. And I almost intentionally tried to avoid creating a business related to sneakers so that it wasn't just an excuse to play with sneakers. And also, sort of pre-social media at a different time with sort of the businesses you could build online. It was like, well, am I going to build a sneaker store? There wasn't as clear or as many opportunities. But it wasn't until I created Campless, which was a side project while I was at IBM, which was like the Beckett for sneakers, right? The price guide for sneakers. We started working on that in 2012, and it wasn't until 2015 that I met Dan Gilbert. So I was doing this on the side for 3 years, nights and weekends, just trying to grind in and trying to create something and do something and just really find a way of what was going to be my next business. How do I leave IBM? What is this next business that I can create? And I wasn't exactly sure what it was going to be, but I had a pretty good, sort of at least path with what I'd created in Campless of now is there a real business within the sneaker industry? And I talked to everybody in the industry, Nike, eBay, Foot Locker, Complex, you name it. And there was never really a good fit of who to work with and who to take Campless and evolve it to the next level. And in April of 2015, I met Dan Gilbert, who's the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Quicken Loans and pretty much the entire city of Detroit. And the short version is that he was trying to build the same thing. He was trying to build a marketplace for sneakers based on, stock market mechanics. And that's an even longer, crazier story. But, he understood the value of the bot. StockX, the real business is not sneakers. It's the bid-ask model. It's the pricing model. It's the marketplace part of it. And it was just fortuitous to me that maybe the only other person in the whole world trying to do the exact same thing at the exact same time happens to be one of the most successful business people in the world. And so I ended up selling Campless to Dan. That was sort of the data layer, and then moving to Detroit to work with him and his team to turn that into StockX. And so I moved to Detroit in 2015, and then we launched StockX the next year, but it was very much a granular step-by-step, had no idea where it was going other than in this direction. And I got lucky that I met Dan, and we got lucky that we had an amazing team that we worked on it with it at StockX. And here we are.
Yeah, man. There's brilliance in all of that. I'd love for you to explain just briefly the whole eBay model, which is, for some people like bidding and, you establish value by how much someone will bid versus with the bid and ask. So that'd be part one. The way you guys tied into these cultural moments, and I'd call it borrowed interest until you created your own, because you have all these large brands. You had Nike and doing the shoe releases and feeding into that and having this engine. Damn, it was smart. Everything makes sense that's successful. It's like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Like after the fact, you don't appreciate the grind and the doubt. Everybody believes it when they see it. Not everybody believes it, though, before they see it.
Yeah.
And that's to the fruit come the spoils. But talk about that bid ask and anything you want to expound upon on that last point I made.
This is my favorite part of all of it. And, I've sort of become an accidental economist through all of this. But at the most basic level, anyone who's ever used eBay understands that eBay is what's called a listing-based marketplace, meaning that anyone can go list whatever they want. And so if you want to buy a pair of Jordan 1 Breads, then you will go and you will put in the search term and you will get thousands of listings of everyone selling theirs. And this one has a picture this way, and this one has a receipt, and this one has a cat in the back of it. I mean, all the but the reality is that a Jordan 1 Bread is an asset. It's a singular standardized thing, particularly if we're selling brand new shoes. You don't need pictures of all different ones. If you go buy a share of Nike stock on the New York Stock Exchange, there's not thousands of people saying, buy my share, buy my share. But it's a standardized thing. We know what a share of Nike stock is. Yep. And so we create what's called a product-based marketplace, meaning that the product is the page, and as opposed to the listing, and we create that catalog on StockX. And so we create one page for the Jordan 1 Bread. And every bid and every ask and everything is all at one page. And that creates the efficiency and the transparency around the dollars and the data. But now if you want to buy a pair of Jordan 1 Breads, there's one place to go, and you don't have to go all the way around. And so our entire goal in building StockX was, how do we create a product-based marketplace? How do we create where we can sell up one page? And so everything that you've seen that we've done is a function of that. And in order to do that, you have to standardize that product to be able to sell it off of a stock photo. That's kind of your rule. So in order to do that, we had to do a couple of things. First of all, we only sell brand new or dead stock sneakers on StockX. Second, and what was more complicated, was we had to authenticate sneakers. And we created authentication centers. And authentication is a value. And if you're a 14-year-old kid who saved up all your money to buy a pair of Yeezys, then knowing that you're not going to get a fake pair, there's real value in there. Everything else is gravy. Everything else is brand. Everything else is how you move beyond it. But at the core, that's what it means to have a stock market of things, to copy the bid ask. And that's really the key to the whole thing. And so that also then became the sort of benchmark as StockX expanded and we added other products.
How have they been? Like, I want to transition to Ghoststripe, but is it a growing sector for StockX, you think? The trading cards?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. When I left in 20, the trading card industry was in a much different position, right? This is pre-Fanatics, and that was me obviously leaving StockX to start Fanatics Collectibles. But the amount of cards that were out there, and then we also were right in the middle of the pandemic, and then we had 21 and the crazy everything that happened in 21 and the crash afterwards. And I think a lot of it, there just wasn't a prioritization for trading cards because of everything else going on in the economy for the core business. And so when I left, the trading card team got at least one person smaller. And so I honestly, I don't really know. But again, if you just go back to the core of how good it is for the model, it's okay, not great. So it makes sense that management wouldn't overly prioritize that versus products that are great for the model.
Talk about that rocket ship ride on Fanatics, and then let's build a Ghostwrite. I'm going to let you kind of take it there.
It's all the same story, and not just because it's me, because all these products, they're all the same. All hype economy products, they're all supply and demand driven. They'll have finite supply. They all sit at the intersection of culture and commerce. They'll have then collectors and resellability and authentication issues. And, and they're all products that are equal parts, consumer good and financial asset. I happened to get back into trading cards pretty significantly in 2018, 2019. At the summer of 2019, I stepped down as CEO at StockX, and then I was spending a lot more time on trading cards and also ramping up the trading card business at StockX. And sort of, I got to see what the state of the industry was, and it was very clear that what did happen was going to happen, meaning the trading cards were going to explode or at least, significantly grow from where they were in 2018, 2019. And that too, the current companies in the space were pretty much relics of the 80s and 90s. It had been the same people, the same team, the same technology, the same structure, and rightfully so. I mean, it had been a sleepy small industry for the 15 years before that. And so there was just this opportunity that was pretty clear. And so I left for the sole intention of trying to acquire the licenses for trading cards. And then I met Ruben and we sat down and talked through it. And we spent 6 hours, and for 6 hours, he asked me the same question in a million different ways, which is, how big can this be? At some point, I finally just said, I don't know, but it's really big. And it's way bigger than we think, and it's growing. And he's right. And everybody looks at that size. It's basically, is it worth my time and effort to go after this? And we left that room that day, which was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving of 2020. And we said, we can do this together. Well, it was my idea, and it was my vision. It was my sort of plan. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's 95% his relationship with everybody in Fanatics and the credibility and support and structure to be able to go out and actually do it. Ideas are worthless, right? Execution is the only thing that matters. And I was fortunate to find the perfect person to partner with to go and do that. And then we were able to acquire all the licenses for baseball, basketball, football cards. As everyone knows, at the end of 21, beginning of 22, acquired Topps. And so we were fully aligned. We hired Mike Mahan, who's a CEO now. Yep. And then I left that summer, and Ruben was the first check into Ghostwrite. And it was, about as much according to plan as anything can be. It was a great success for me, for us, for the business. But I really, truly believe for the hobby and for the collectors as well to have a company. And, the leagues and the PAs became equity partners in Fanatics Collectibles as part of that. Just having the leagues as equity partners in their own product, that should have been that way for decades. It's their product. It's their business, right? I left that summer with a very specific purpose of creating Ghostwrite, because the collectible toy space, it's big enough to matter. It's big enough to work with all the most important brands and artists and companies and sit at the same intersection of culture and commerce the same way the rest of the products do. But it's not so big that you have these monoliths in the space that already dominated. And sneakers, obviously Nike and Adidas, and trading cards, Fanatics and the NBA. In the collectible toy space, you have Funko. There's a company called Bear Brick. Obviously, everyone's aware of what's been going on with Pop Mart and Labubu in the last couple of months. But there's not a whole lot of real big companies that dominate the collectible toy space. But at the core, the economics of it are the same.
Talk to me about the name Ghostwrite. Ghost tells stories. I'm a writer myself, so it immediately resonated with me. And then, there's uniqueness, but also, I don't know, some mystery intrigue in the whole thing. Talk to me about the naming and, I don't know, some of that organic stuff.
When we created Campless, which was the price guide for sneakers back in 2012, this was like the blog era. I mean, there were, 100, 200 sneaker blogs that were out there at the time. I mean, this is where all sneaker activity took place. And if there were 200, there was 198 of them that had the name Sneaker or Soul or Kick or Flip in it. It was like, if I'm going to build a consumer brand, I either need to build a brand, but I'm not going to try to fight through the noise and which one am I between all the others. And that kind of stuck with me as we named all the other companies, StockX and Zero Cool and Ghostwrite. Obviously, Fanatics Collectibles is Fanatics. So that alone, we knew that was going to be something unique and stand out. But it really is a function of the product itself. So, Ghostwrite is a blank canvas collectible. So this 3D printed Ghost was the entire business plan in 22. I just walked around with this. And a Ghost has no face. It has no gender. The Ghost itself is not a character. This is a blank canvas. And that's what trading cards are, right? The physical form of the trading cards is the same every single time. The value is about who's on it, the condition, the scarcity, but it's a blank canvas product. And so knowing that, and the fact that as collectible toys, we just naturally work with other partners where we create either IP or characters or other things on top of our canvas. This idea that as a blank canvas, we're now telling the stories of other people. The Ghost is not a character, it's the other person's story. And what's a ghostwriter, right, is a person. So that's sort of how the ethos of the name came about.
I'm surrounded here. If you're not watching the YouTube, you have to watch the YouTube. So get over there and check
At
this
the very
out.
least, you got to see
listening.
my co-partner, who's remarkably silent.
Yes, he's sitting there with a one of one Jokic. Yes, and I've got here on set Ronald Acuna Jr. We are Atlanta Braves fans. Grew up in the Dale Murphy area. I'm aging myself here, Josh. But now Acuna is the guy. He's kind of gotten universal. But this Ghostwrite is out of 100. I love what you're doing. I think you nailed it. It crystallized it for me when you're talking about the toy. There's no differentiation really in the toy thing. It was kind of a wide open market. There's no tops, Yeah.
It's and the reason why is because almost all collectible toys are characters. They're IP. Hardcore collectors will know like Astro Boy or Cause, but it's just like Spider-Man, right? As opposed to having a blank canvas where it can be anything. It can be Acuna, it can be Jokic, it can be a basketball, it can be a pencil, it can be, whatever it is. And it just gives us more range to be able to create those products, with those people. And so there's three main sizes. This is the same size as a Bear Brick, which is kind of the leader in the space. So this size, which actually, hold up, here's a Jimmy Butler for the set that's coming up. So we call this 100%, but this is basically 2.5 inches tall. This is what the primary product is for the sport releases. We did WNBA in December, Major League Baseball in August, and now doing NBA. But then there's this size, which you have the Acuna, which is we call 400%. These are 11 inches high. This is kind of the flagship product for your like hardcore toy guy. And most of the ones we sell non-sports are this size, and they're in small runs. And then these we basically don't make. These are more promotional. They're all one of one of each player. And this happens to be Jokic from the set. And so we do have a bunch of these promotionally at different places, but we don't sell these nearly as much. And so you have one of the, the only 400% of it. And I guessed right, being in South Carolina, that you were a Braves fan. So
you guessed right. And then Don Staley. That wasn't lost on us either.
That was the other one. I was like, right. I was like, what else do I have in South Carolina?
Josh was so kind to send some of these. You've got the best of like pack opening, because you have the, you're ripping it. You don't know what you got. You've got the parallels. You never know. This is out of the 2025 MLB season game face. So I'm holding two things that are still foiled up here. What am I holding?
So,
one's a flip figurine or the.
So there's a little card that goes with each ghost, and it'll tell you who the player is if you don't know who the player is, and just a little information about it. So
does this give away the parallel if it is a parallel?
No,
the little card?
It doesn't. It does have on the back all the parallels that exist, but it doesn't give away the parallel if you have one. And
okay, so we start with that to know maybe the player, but then the real reveal happens on the toy.
Right. Okay. And I'll tell you what, I have an extra box sitting here as well. So I'll open this box while you open that one, and we'll see what we both get.
Yeah, let's do it. I have Mr. Paul Skeens.
Nice. I think basically, I think Ohtani's probably the best hit, and then Skeens and Judge look like they're selling second best. And then actually after those two, who did I just hit? I just hit Verlander. So we also have one famous fan in the set. Also something we took from trading cards. If you're familiar with like Kobe's FIFA card. And so in the WNBA set, which came out in December, the famous fan was Aubrey Plaza, the actress and comedian. Yep. And then in the NBA set, in the MLB set is Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg's wearing a Sox jersey. Again, this is the intersection of culture and commerce and sports. And then the NBA set, the famous fan is Eminem wearing a Pistons jersey. So kind of like full circle on all that. So yeah.
Very cool. I got Mr. Paul Skeens.
I think that's just out.
The
nice.
base. I think that he's cool. That is awesome. Head spins. Very cool.
You see something you like in our pack rips on the show? Check out the Rad Collective eBay store and eBay live shows at ebaylivestore.com or at breakingrad.com. All the cards we rip on the show will be available on both platforms.
Exactly. And, we spent 8 months and we worked with 14 different toy designers until we got to a shape that we liked. And what was interesting about the crown was we wanted something that was noticeable, that was identifiable and say, okay, we know that's a ghost, but something that can disappear in the design if it needs to be and doesn't stand out. And so, sometimes like you don't even notice, like this one has been one of the most popular. This is actually a 3D printed NBA basketball, and you can actually see like sort of made it pebbled. But
that's awesome.
The crown is almost irrelevant to the design of this. Obviously, when we do the blind boxes, the gold stands out and the parallels are very clear. But otherwise, this is kind of just Jimmy Butler wearing a blue headband, right? It's just like, it is who it is. It's Jimmy Butler. So, yeah. Well, by the way, the mustache, I'm glad you pointed that out because, again, business is just people. And we got so lucky in that one of the few people who works with us who I didn't know before starting this company, our designer, Pedro, is unbelievable. And the details, like look at the back of Acuna, look at his hair. Right, like how cool is the back of his hair?
He's got the colored dreads or whatever you call that. His hair is ridiculous.
Right. And so like that level of detail and design is fantastic. And so like in the NBA set, like the M&M one has all of his tattoos, and so that's kind of the fun part about this of being able to create our interpretation of the player as a ghost.
The intersection of culture and commerce is so obvious because that's it right there. Like these guys, the players have their own personas, and Acuna's got these braids that anyone would, like that's a cultural and just I don't know part of his overall like exuding of his star power, and you're bringing that to life on the collectible in a 3D way, and that's what really stands out with these. And how's it going? Like, how's the business?
We've only been selling ghosts for a year. We started the company in 22. We started making ghosts in 23, but we didn't sell our first ghost till August of 24. Making physical products and dealing with factories and tariffs and all the other stuff is, it's a joy. But so we've only been selling for a year, and we're only now ramping up and getting to the first seasons of the big IP. We've done maybe 10, 12 releases. But the MLB set, which just came out, was only the second, and now NBA is the third. And so we've now gone through one season of our big 3 IP, WNBA, NBA, Major League Baseball. We also have WWE and UFC, and they'll come a little bit later. But now we get to go like in season 2, and the WNBA season 2 will come out in December. We'll have a different design. And what you see, and you're holding just well, actually you can see in Dawn Staley and the MLB players, they have the same eyes. They have the same look. For this set, we call that game face. The idea is sort of like the elevated intensity of athletes. Yeah. But you can think of that as like Panini Prism of like, that's 2018 Prism. And then next year will be 2019 Prism or whatever, right? So we'll have one design that goes across all of the leagues, all the sets. So we've now had one that has all 3 for game face. And then there's a new look that will come out for WNBA. And each set will make a little bit more. There'll be, different parallels, different chase elements. In the NBA one, Cooper Flagg's in the set. WNBA, Caitlin was obviously the huge chase last year. Literally, the Caitlin Clark has a R on her shoulder, meaning that this is a rookie ghost. This actually is a Caitlin Clark Gold, which is probably the most expensive one in the set. By the way, the Caitlin Clark 1 of 1 sold for $30,000. This size. And there's a bounty. There's a $30,000 bounty on the Ohtani 1 of 1 this size also. The 1 of 1 has a fire crown, which I don't think I even have any of them because they're in packs and you have to find them. And so, it's like it's going great, but it's early. What matters more than anything is the long-term value of the ghost. Right, like that's the real like measuring stick of the success of Ghost right long term. Same thing with the larger ones, but like the blind boxes, because you can also have them graded. So this is a company called AFA, which is the leading grading company for collectible toys. They primarily do Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, sort of vintage toys. But we had them make slabs for Ghostwrite. And so in the same way that PSA changed the value of trading cards, this is a sort of an ante to play. We have to be able to grade ghosts, have them authenticated, graded, et cetera. And also just an easier thing to display and sort of look cool. And so all that to say is like, it's early. It seems great so far, but like it's all about the long-term value and the sort of continued collectability about it. Because as you know, collectors collect. They want to collect the same thing every year, every season, and 1 or 2 times is okay, it's interesting. But what's really interesting is like who's buying the 3rd year and like I got to collect them all.
You're taking everything that has cooked on trading cards with parallels and the numbers. You're taking all the things that create that sizzle and create the hype, but then you've added the spin and found sort of this blue ocean with the toys because there's just nothing like this out there. It's super smart, man. And I don't see any reason that this won't be a rocket ship itself in its own way, to what people want to collect. It's right in there. And and you brought it up because that's where I was going to go next. So congratulations on all this.
Thank you.
It's really cool. What makes people want to collect? Is that it's like everybody's just a natural collector, you know? It's like, I don't know. It's like, I mean, I'm a dude, hang out with guys. I got 4 boys, you know, like, but guys just like to collect shit, you know? I don't know what.
Man, they do.
You know?
Man, if I could answer that, I don't know. I'd be the world's richest psychologist or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk is a friend and investor, and I've known him for a long time, and I also think he's, you know, one of the smartest people I know, particularly in this area. He said something. Usually, the things he says doesn't surprise me because we think the same way. But he said something that I caught last week about that he thinks that collectors and are going to be sort of a new pillar of culture next to music, art, fashion, sport. That is a big statement. You know, that is a really big statement. And like to really understand what that means. And I don't know if I fully buy into it, but I understand why. And I certainly think that there's some like real potential that it becomes that. I mean, you know, it's never going to be as music and sport, right? Or just music, film, and sport. It's just, you know, dominates culture forever. But it's interesting, right? Like to think about the importance and again, sort of like it matters because of its intersection with culture. And these things are all cultural assets. So I don't know, maybe when we get to that point, then it's a whole different ballgame.
I love it, man. Where can everybody buy what's going to be coming out, keep up with everything going on, and try to get in early before, you know, like it just goes like everything else. It goes haywire, bonkers, the values go up, and you become richer than you already are.
Well, I got to tell you, the way the trading card market is right now, Ghost Rate is a steal. And if the trading card market keeps going where it's at, I'm selling my cards and just buying more Ghosts.
Who do you collect?
I collect a lot. Most of sort of my like primary goal on a day-to-day basis is I collect Black Prism, NBA Black Prism from 2013 to 2021, True Black, 101, basically any players. And actually here's like, I just got a package back from Alt that was in the vault. So nothing really special about this other than it's a 2015 Black Prism Pau Gasol in a Bulls uniform. So not as, you know, but I just think that Prism is the most important brand of the last, 15 years, and they're going away, or at least NBA Prism's going away. I sold and left Fanatics Collectibles in the summer of 22, but I still buy trading cards almost every day. I was at the National.
The National's a fire hose. We went for all 4 or 5 days, dude. That is a freaking, it was awesome and overwhelming at the same time.
Were you spending most of the time creating content?
Yeah, I was shooting, doing behind the scenes. It was a little bit of both, but I had 2 of my boys there. So we got, nice. Yeah, it was work and play. And I think I got some National cases here somewhere. I don't know. Is this from the National? No, I've got some, but I picked up some good cards. It was like a kid in a candy store, but it was like so much candy, it's like over, like holy. All right, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
We're asking everyone, what's your most valuable card right now in the box?
Does his pocket count?
Yes, pockets count.
He's got all of his PSA 10 Ohtani rookies, but I don't think none of them are huge.
It's probably this one right now.
Okay. Oh yeah, we knew he had it in the pocket, guys. We knew he was sandbagging. It was in the pocket at all times. What do we have?
There might
Junior Caminero.
That's
hat patch out of 2.
Oh, very nice, very nice. They're really expanding everything they can put on the card here. You got bat parts, you got hats, you got game worn. Yep. That's awesome. What card are we chasing? Are we chasing anything, or what card's chasing you?
We're big Cardinals fans, so even like not the big name guys, we like Victor Scott, Mason Wynn, but always looking Ohtanis, like most people, a lot of people do. Cedon Rafaela, Red Sox.
Any autographs?
Like getting them here? Probably not. Yeah. There's Albert Pujols will be here, Yanni will be here, but I don't. Probably not. We have a couple of them anyway on our own, so we probably wouldn't do it. But they're big names, definitely big names.
Have a great rest of the show. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Any of you have some good cards. You have good cards? Come on, you got to. All right, who's got good cards? This guy looks like he's serious. What's the best card in the box?
The best card in the box. going to be the one that we just purchased.
Oh, yes. I love this. Perfect timing. You look like a guy that just got in the car of his dreams.
Not the car of my dreams. I did sell a lot of my Richardson stuff today. Isaac, where did I put this car? Oh, it's right here. Brock Purdy, PSA 9, number to 249 rookie.
Okay.
That's what we picked up today.
Love it. Just signed the big contract.
Yeah, he did. We're a believer in him. Got out of a quarterback in a more expensive card. We sold the Richardson for about $340, Richardson downtown. And then got into a Brock Purdy, a little extra cash.
I like it. Have a good show.
Thanks, brother.
What's the best card in the box?
I actually forgot my cards.
Oh, come on.
Big O this year.
Oh, no. What are we chasing then?
I am looking for, I used to play at Brigham Young University.
Okay.
So I collect people I used to play with. I do not have a good serial number Fred Warner cards yet. So that's what I'm really
San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, San Francisco 49ers.
Yes. The best defensive players in the game.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
repping BYU. Kyle Van Noy, Fred Warner, Taysom Hill, a lot of other guys. But yeah, go Cougs.
Yeah. Hey, man, appreciate you. Have a good show. We got to know what's in the box. Come on.
Best card?
Best card in the box. Oh, ooh, hello. Wayne Gretzky. That is a sick card. Very nice. Did you get that today or
yesterday?
Yesterday, okay.
Yeah.
What are we hunting?
Connor Bedard.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good show. What's the best card in the box?
My name's Nate.
Hey, Nate. Ryan, nice to meet you. Yeah, we got to see it. We're asking everybody the best card in the box. Yes. Oh, redemption. If you don't know, the redemption cards, this is the card he can get. Who else on?
It's coming Wednesday.
Okay, coming Wednesday. Already coming. Oh, I'm going to let you read that out loud.
Dual Superfractor auto of Ewan McGregor and Aiden Christensen from Chrome Black.
Nice. Did you pull that yourself? Did you buy the redemption?
Yeah, I got the redemption and I redeemed it. Took a couple months, but I'm getting it soon.
All right, guys, best cards in the box. Come on, we're asking everybody, what you got? Let's go. All right, guys, I need to know the best cards in the box.
Actually, you just take your pick.
We came to the right folks. These guys look serious. These are probably breakers or whatnot, dealers. We know, just a Babe Ruth on top, no big deal. Mickey Mantle hello. Look at this guy. You looked serious. I knew this was a serious guy. What are you chasing?
I chase Mantle, Ruth, Jackie.
Yep.
Anything really. Mantle.
Yeah. Hello.
You know that guy?
Yeah. He's gonna be here at 4:00. Did you know that?
Palmer. Judo.
Yesterday.
That's sick.
Ted. Ruth. Mays.
See, you're a young guy. You got all these classic guys. I like this. This guy's got serious cards. I knew he had serious cards. All right, man. Leland's, what are we? What are we doing here?
We're hanging out here, checking out stuff. We're also showing off some of the stuff we have here on auction. And you can check out the cards, some game use stuff, whatever you're into. We got a lot.
Just the stuff that you'd actually be bidding on?
Yeah, exactly. It's live right now on our website.
What's the most valuable thing likely going to sell?
Here, one of these Jordan cards over here, it's very rare. It's probably going to be, over $150,000.
Hello. That's real money.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, we've sold things that are millions of dollars, so I mean, that's kind of, it's very expensive. Hey, thanks.
Good. Whoa, you got luggage. We have luggage now?
I'm not even going to try to take
All right, just tell us what it is.
Here we
you
go.
got it in his pocket.
Back pocket.
You know someone's serious when they got it in the pocket.
We got a couple Tom Brady autos.
Oh, yeah.
One of them's cracked, though.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Love it. Who are we chasing?
Tom Brady.
Looking for Tom Brady's?
Yep.
Anything specific?
Not really.
What's the best card in the case?
I don't have my cards in the but I bought some.
Okay.
Tom Brady, Bowman rookie.
Tom Brady. This has been a popular name here. You know Tom's going to be here at 4:00, right?
Oh, really?
That's secret insider info. You can't tell anyone.
I won't.
But he will be. He'll be over there at the vault.
Favorite player. It's my favorite player.
Okay. That's a good one. Oh, Kaboom City right there.
Yeah.
What have we got there? You collecting Kabooms?
Yeah, Luka, Giannis, Jokic.
Okay. Did you buy all those here?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I don't have my cards with me, but I have to bet.
I was there at the National, and most of the time I was doing breaks for Ghost Stripe. But I like to be able to just put my hat down and go and just shop, and I just like bouncing from table to table and fight my way in there and see what's going on. And that's the fun part.
It is. Where can everybody buy some Ghost Right? You can name, I don't know what the price points, if you want to even talk about that, or what's, anything you want to do, but let's tell people how to get them.
Well, this is a good place to end for a couple reasons. One, most ghosts are sold direct on Ghost Right as what we call a blind Dutch auction. And we don't need to go again. Like I said, I'm an economist now, but we don't set the price for most of the products. It is it's an auction in which it ends up setting a fair market price where everybody pays the same amount. And you can learn all about it. And we've been doing this. We did this at StockX. We did this with Fanatics Collectibles. I think this is the most fair way to release a product where everybody pays a fair price. And the NBA release is going on. The NBA release starts September 16th. But other than the releases that happen on Ghostwrite, a lot of the sport boxes are sold through breakers. And all the big trading card breakers break this, Blez and DACA and Cherry and Pac-Man and everyone else. And so there's an opportunity to buy in breaks and buy it that way. And then otherwise, every now and then we do have a few fixed price products that will show up on Ghostwrite. And so, as we continue to grow the catalog, and we're not going to go down this path, but I will say that the blind Dutch auction, the pricing mechanism at Ghostwrite, that's the real business. In the same way that StockX, the real business was about bid ask and single product page. And all the other stuff we talk about is important and it matters. And for a collector, that's what's most important. But for us as a company, as we evolve, that idea of how to bring valuable products to market, like that's a really important key point.
Really appreciate you, brother. Let's stay connected, man. We got a lot in common. Yep. And I love hearing your stories and what you've done, the success you've had and your wisdom in the collectible space. I know you'd have a lot to share with our audience and love what you're doing with Ghostwrite.
No, thanks, man. Listen, we need more people like you in the hobby. Like the ratio of smart people talking about collectibles in the hobby to the hobby, it's got to be one of the smallest of any industry ever. And so the more people so this is great. And so however I can do to help as you guys grow, please let me know.
I appreciate you, brother. Hey guys, you know where to find us. Collectibles.show. That's the website. You can link to all the social media content. We'll have, of course, in the show notes, links to Ghostwrite, all of Josh's stuff, and the stuff that's not for sale. This Acuna Jr., never for sale. This is NFS model Acuna, always here. We appreciate you for tuning in here in the early stages. What are you collecting out there? We want to know. Send us what you're collecting. Talk about it online. Drop some comments in the YouTubes. And, of course, go give Josh a follow along with Ghostwrite. We appreciate you for listening. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform and don't miss the full video version on YouTube. You can find us at www.collectibles.show or follow Ryan on Instagram at Ryan Alford. Now get out there and collect yours.